Last week, Israeli missiles struck the heart of Doha, killing 5 Hamas members and a Qatari security official. The attack came just as Hamas leaders gathered to discuss a US-brokered ceasefire proposal for Gaza. For the first time in decades, Israel had directly attacked a Gulf state, one of America's own allies. Today in Doha, leaders from 57 Islamic nations and 22 Arab states gathered for an emergency summit. They issued a strongly worded statement and promised action against Israel. But if history is any guide, their words will echo hollow across the region whilst Palestinian suffering continues. Hello and welcome. You're watching Statecraft with me, Geeta Mohan. For decades, the Muslim world has perfected the art of condemnation without consequence. Organization of Islamic Cooperation, that's the OIC, has issued countless resolutions about Palestine. The Arab League has held urgent meetings after urgent meetings. Yet, illegal Israeli settlements continue to expand, and Palestinian children still die under bombardment. When Israel killed over 15,000 children in Gaza, Arab leaders called for peace. When Israeli forces stormed Al-Aqsa Mosque, one of Islam's holiest sites, they issued statements. When Gaza faced starvation, they sent humanitarian aid whilst maintaining business as usual with Israel's backers. The Muslim world's greatest weakness isn't military inferiority, it's internal division. Sunni Saudi Arabia and Shia Iran remain locked in proxy wars across the region, using Palestine as a symbolic trophy rather than a genuine cause for unity. Whilst these regional giants compete for influence, Israel grows stronger. Muslim-majority nations collectively spend hundreds of billions on defense annually, more than many Western powers combined. Turkey has NATO's second-largest army. Pakistan possesses nuclear weapons. Saudi Arabia boasts cutting-edge military technology. Yet this formidable force remains fragmented, fighting internal conflicts, whilst Israel maintains military superiority through US support. Even during Gaza's darkest moments, no coordinated military response emerged to protect Palestinian civilians. Gulf states control nearly a third of global oil reserves. The Strait of Hormuz and Suez Canal, controlled by Muslim nations, are vital checkpoints for world trade. 2 billion Muslims represent massive consumer markets across continents, yet this economic power remains largely untapped for Palestinian justice. Israeli spokespersons dominate airwaves whilst Palestinian voices struggle for basic recognition. This isn't accidental. It reflects decades of underinvestment in cultural diplomacy and strategic communication. The UAE's enthusiastic embrace of normalization with Israel exemplifies the problem. Despite ongoing settlement expansion and Palestinian dispossession, Emirati leaders celebrate their partnership with Tel Aviv as a strategic masterstroke against Iranian influence. Morocco followed suit, trading Palestinian solidarity for US recognition of its Western Sahara claims. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman speaks of eventual normalization once Palestinian statehood is achieved, a condition Israel has no intention of fulfilling. These nations justify abandonment of Palestine through geopolitical calculations. They've discovered that aligning with Israel brings Western approval and protection from criticism of domestic human rights records. Across the Muslim world, ordinary citizens burn with solidarity for Palestine. From Jakarta to Istanbul, millions march for Gaza. Online activism flourishes despite government surveillance. Yet, their voices remain powerless against authoritarian regimes that suppress dissent in the name of stability. Egyptian protesters face arrest. Saudi imams preach that Palestine belongs to Jews as well as Muslims. Emirati youth openly admire Tel Aviv's nightlife whilst Gaza burns. The gap between popular sentiment and official policy has never been wider. Israel's attack on Qatar has created a rare moment of clarity. The Muslim world can no longer pretend that measured responses and diplomatic protests will protect Palestinian lives or preserve regional security. Either the Islamic summit marks a turning point towards meaningful action, or it becomes another monument to the gap between rhetoric and reality that has characterized Muslim responses to Palestinian sufferings for generations. 2 million Gazans await the answer. 2 billion Muslims hold the power to provide it. History watches to see which force will prove stronger, the comfort of inaction or the courage of justice. The summit's true test won't be the words spoken in Doha's conference halls, but the actions taken in the weeks that follow. Palestine has waited 76 years for liberation. The question is whether its supposed defenders will finally match their deeds to their declarations. Thank you for watching Statecraft.